come from inside. And I think we're going to go through some of those steps now with
Yeah.
Coach. Thank you to, I see the lead attorney in the building. Welcome to the big bro. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you spending a little time here. So we are talking some push past the pain, and I'm really grateful that I have special guests with me, Rachelle Sylvain-Spence, who is here to tell us a little bit more about how she learned to do it and how she coaches other people in doing it. And we're talking a little bit about her book and some of her personal experiences and how she has been able to get through some of the most painful experiences of her life, and hopefully how you can apply that to your life. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, the lead attorney is in the building. Please hit the like button. And thank you. Hey, lovely. What's up? In the building. I'm really excited to have you guys here in this conversation. I think it's much needed because there are a lot of people who are suffering in silence with pain. And sometimes we don't know what to do with it. And some of it is an identity pain. Some of it is I am in the wrong, fill in the blank, career, relationship, whatever. And we don't necessarily know how to approach it and how to deal with it. So we're going to talk about, professional. We're also going to talk about relational. And as she's talking about just situational pain that kind of leaves a residue on us and how we can process it. And I think one of the biggest things that you've just shared is that the talk therapy or direct therapy is one of the best ways to go ahead and process it. Hearing it out loud, saying it, getting it from inside and this hidden secret to outside of us does wonders. And that way other people can help us process it, look at it through different lenses, through different perspectives, and hopefully give us some working tools. So that's a very good, I think, example. Let me see. A says power dynamics. Oh, Lee, by the way, Lee, I could get super chats, Lee. I could get super stickers, Lee. I'm just saying. By the way, Lee, I can get super chats now. Praise be to God. Thanks to you, big bro. Okay, just letting you know. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lee. Okay. Ace B is saying power economics. I think way black women tend to compartmentalize. I think Black women tend to compartmentalize their life at a young age. I think yes, I can see that. They don't even know that they are doing it. By the time they reach adulthood, they are carrying a lot. This is a very deep statement, Ace B, because I think men and women do it, but I know women do it. I can't speak from the male's perspective, but I can definitely tell you women do it for real, where we can be carrying a heavy load, something very traumatic,
And
and
you know
carry
what?
on in life. Go ahead,
And
Coach.
this is what I'll say about that. Yes, and I think women as a whole, I'm not sure if it's one specific group or not, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you acknowledge that you're doing it, as long as you're aware that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, for example, the more you get to know yourself, you have an understanding how you handle things, how you process things, and you get an understanding of your body as well. Me, for example, we were talking earlier, I'm doing great regardless of what's going on around me. And when I show up as me. I'm not faking it. That's just who I am on a regular basis. My identity or my truth is that I allow myself to experience pain, I release it, I process it, and I make change accordingly. It doesn't mean that the stress level isn't there. Now I know by having gone through my process that the way that I carry stress, you won't necessarily see it in my face. I feel it. It's in my neck. It's in my shoulders. I know when stress is coming or it's there because I feel it. And what do? I create space for myself to address it.
Wow.
And this is the piece of getting to know who you are, because the more you understand, you get acquainted with yourself, you understand the vibration that being generated within you, what each vibration means. And you move through life with that level of clarity. And so if you get to know yourself well enough to know that I know I compartmentalize things, and that's how I move through life.
Yeah.
But when I do, it isn't that I don't address it. I've acknowledged it, I've released it, I processed it. And then I put it somewhere so that I can move through the pain, so that I could address everything else that I have ahead of me, because life is still happening regardless.
Acknowledge, release, process.
Yeah.
Acknowledge, release,
You kind of like
process.
you acknowledge your process and then you release it because you have
Okay,
to
excuse me.
process what's going on.
Acknowledge, then process, then release.
Yeah.
Got you. Acknowledge, then you process, then you release. First of all, before we get to Ace B's question, do men and women express pain differently? I got to acknowledge the big bro throwing around them big bucks. Thank you, Leah,
Oh,
for the huge super chat. I am grateful to you, sir, in so many ways, helping me just explode onto the YouTube scene. But here, showing love, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Saying congratulations again. Thank you so much to the part you played. His YouTube Elementary has been revolutionizing many of us content creators spaces on this platform. And thank you for saying I'm amazing. You, sir, are the real MVP. We appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all give it up to the lead attorney. Sound effects.
you need that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know what it is. Thank you so much. Okay. Your point was well taken, but I had to stop for a second to acknowledge that super chat from the one and only lead attorney. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right, so we got Rachelle Sylvain-Spence in the building. We are talking about pushing past the pain. She is talking in her book about this. Gail, one of our moderators, has dropped a link to her book. She's also talking about her personal journey with pain and how from a young child, she was in Haiti, experienced some really crazy things during times of unrest with, people, demonstrating acts of violence right in front of her and how that impacted her with post-traumatic stress, etc. But we're now going to talk a little bit about like relational stress. Coach, I wanted to get into some things that we see sometimes in life when we are, in whether it's parental roles, whether it's husband and wife or girlfriend boyfriend roles, where it's child daughter roles. We talked a little bit about how some of us are going through stages where you got kids and you got parents that need you, and there's a different type of stress. You're there, right? Okay, so I know a lot of people are dealing with that, but there's a different type of stress that goes along with that. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about how you're experiencing that type of pain, if you will, relational pain, and how you have learned to show up in spite of, and what tools you're using to make sure you can be the best you can be, even though there's that added stress.
Yes. So I believe that, again, life happens for all of us, and we each are in different stages of life. And I'm currently I'm married, I have children, I have parents, and I have a grandmother as well. And I am at the stage right now, my parents are where they need more assistance, and I need to be more present. And that could take a toll, especially if you're managing children, you're managing work, you manage relationships, meaning, intimate relationship, and you're also managing parents. And my challenge through that is, how do I continue to be present for them without compromising me to the point where that I'm not of service. I can't even assist anyone. And I always, again, for me, what I had to do is get clarity as to what it is that I need to have in my life every day that keeps me whole. What do I need to tap into at all time, regardless of the roles that I'm playing, that keeps me whole? And it's very important, as one goes through this process of self-discovery, they identify all the things in all area of life that is key for them to feel whole. So that when they show up in their roles, they don't show up. They can show up fully, actually, and they don't show up depleted. Now, these roles can be depleting. This is why it's important for us to have routines that are important to us, so that we can actually tap into these routines or these resources, so that when we, again, go back to these roles, we're not showing up drained, depleted, and unable to serve. And boundaries are keys too. Understanding that no is a full sentence. So the more you get comfortable in understanding elements that makes you who you truly are, what's important for you to have in your life so that you could continue to show up, then you create for yourself a routine. And that routine can be as simple as, which I'll use mine for example, it's me connecting with my values. Once I know what my top values are, these are things that I need to have every day of my life. So I make sure that I have a routine that allows me to tap into each of these areas on a daily basis so that I can feel whole and feel fulfilled.
Give me an
So
example.
my
Yes.
top value is family.
Mm-hmm.
I value family. And so I also know that I can't be there for all my family and extended family, but I know that it's important for me to connect throughout my day. So
Mm-hmm.
as I create my routine, I know that physically, spiritually first, my spirit is key. I need to connect spiritually every morning. So the idea that we don't have time, for me, it's something that it's just bogus because you create time. It doesn't have to be a long time. It could be 2 minutes, 1 minute. But I wake up in the morning with gratitude. The first thing I say every morning is thank you as soon as my eyes open up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Leading
Mm-hmm.
to my prayers,
Mm-hmm.
leading to my meditation. I make sure that I wake up way earlier so that I could attend to those needs of mine prior to attending to the needs of my loved ones in my home.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not full, where am I serving from? An empty cup? I need to serve from an overflowing cup. So that keeps me grounded in the morning. I go in to do my stretches in the morning. Then I attend to my ADL, my cleaning stuff, and then I attend to my children to ensure that they're ready to go to school. And then my
Right.
husband, and when I do that as well. And then I make sure that I tap into one loved one every day,
Mm-hmm.
one, because it is dear to me. So when I'm having my coffee or my breakfast, this is my time to reach out to a loved one. And I know that that peace have brought me fulfillment and joy.
That's powerful. As
It,
simple as it sounds, that's
it's
very powerful.
simple. It is very
Yeah.
simple.
It's very
And then you
powerful.
have your schedule for work, whatever work schedule is, right? What
Then
you have
life
to do.
starts. Life happens.
Let's start. But these key elements for you were
Yeah.
tapped into. At
Mm.
least you can't say, oh my God, I didn't get a chance to do it. I made
Right.
sure that were
Mm.
part of my daily activity as if I was brushing my teeth
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot live without those things.
Yeah.
Right? So
No.
my physical self needs to be attended to because at this stage of life for me, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. So getting to
Mhm.
know yourself is so key because you need to know what you need because as we go through seasons, things are just no longer, oh, I don't have a choice. Exercise is a, is a necessity. So I have to
Exactly.
attend to these things. My emotional self has to be attended to so that I can show up in my roles full and not show up depleted. So that's one way. It's also
Mm-hmm.
important for us to identify the energies that we're surrounding ourselves with that are depleting, that are not serving us in a positive way. And sometimes your own family member. So if you're a person like me, where your top value is family, it may be more difficult for you to move or eradicate family from your life. So what do? You create the time spent with family so that it doesn't take control of you or deplete you in the space that you get so you go down a rabbit hole. So I create boundaries so that I don't get affected negatively with the energy that's coming around me. Because even when we're entering a space of career path or we're trying to create, like you right now, you just launched this whole YouTube. This is amazing. What if you had energy around you that's giving you all reasons as to why you should be doing it? These are naysayers. It's a depleting energy. And sometimes your own family. Why? Because they don't have the understanding at the level of your comprehension, right? Because we all grow differently.
Absolutely.
Because that they don't have that understanding, they can't get past why are you doing this? So either you choose to educate, depending on how important these people are to you, or you choose to remove these people from your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when
That's
there
a
are people that are dear to you,
right.
depending on how important they are to you, you may find it hard to do. So you
Mm.
create, you reduce the time span, you reduce